I went to MegaCon yesterday here in Orlando.
Oh, right.
Oh, wow. Let's hear about
What
that.
was that like?
First of all, I mean, the press passes I got were, I mean, if you're into that, they were great because essentially I could attend the entire weekend, and that's like $200 a ticket for the entire weekend. So it was a great deal if you're into that stuff. But they weren't granting any interviews, so there was nothing for me to really do but go around with a camera and photograph all of these tens of thousands of people dressed like, you know, everything under the sun.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Harley Quinns this year. You know, and there are a lot of costumes, the people wearing costumes that they absolutely shouldn't because they don't have the body for them. I mean, some of them were frightening, and others were. I mean, that place was like everywhere you turned, it was cleavage. So in a way, I was very glad I went. But then there was they had their celebrity panel area at the end of the convention hall, and they had so many people there. They had a couple of people from The Walking Dead. They had Adam West and Burt Ward from Batman. They had William Shatner and George Takei from Star Trek, and Nicole, the woman from Star Trek, Nicole
Nichols.
Yes, she was there. And I got to go up and shake George Takei's hand, and then Stan Lee was there, and he's always a superstar at these events. Christopher Lloyd was there. John Cusack was there. And when I went there, I was like, I never saw John Cusack. Like, he was never at the table. So I was like, did he even show up? And then looking online, I see a lot of people had their picture taken with him because you go and you pay like $86 to have your picture taken with John Cusack, which I wasn't allowed to do that.
No, of course not. No.
In every photo he took with these people, John Cusack was holding his vape, his his big vaporizer, you know. He was holding it. He didn't like pocket it or anything. He just had it in his hand, like every single photo he took with fans. So, yeah, and Stan Lee, you know, $107, I think just for like an autograph. And his line was never less than a couple of hundred people. And this is from like 10 to 7 every day, Friday through Sunday. So, I mean, these people make major bank off of these events, without a doubt. There were a lot of cosplay tables and guests, you know, the whole world of cosplay. I remember what year did Dracula come out? Did 92?
92.
I remember the last MegaCon I went to was in 92, and Coppola attended to talk about Dracula, to promote Dracula, and a few months before it opened. It was a much smaller event, and it was in this little meeting room, and I remember us all in line waiting for him. They were giving out the teaser posters for Dracula, and he was signing all of them. And I remember being in line, and my friend that I was with walked up to him and said, "Mr. Coppola," I mean, he gushed over him. He said, "You'll never know how much your films mean to me. You're a terrific inspiration, blah, 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 blah." He went on and on and on. Coppola was still signing poster after poster, and he just looked up for a half second, and he said, "That's fine." And then he continued signing, signing the posters. Little did we know that we'd be on the phone with him years later. But so it was a much smaller event. But I remember attending then and looking at all the people dressed up as Trekkies and stuff, which that was the extent of dressing up back then. The Star Trek people did it, and now it's an international movement. I mean, it's people make their living off of being cosplay models and that kind of stuff.
True.
A lot of those models were in attendance, and a lot of them looked very good. And there were people, in a way, you look around and see these people are crazy, and in a way I was the craziest one because I was the most normal one there, so I was the weird one. But, and in another way, there's a great sense of community and fun. There are no riots being started. It's tens of thousands of people gathering in a celebratory spirit. which is great. I was. There's nothing to complain about.
I have
those terms.
No beef with any of that stuff. I mean, they're all having a good time. They're not doing anyone. They're not causing any trouble. They're not causing anyone any harm. I mean, and I have to say, I admire the dedication that goes into the costume making. I mean, it's just a whole different world.
And I think all of us want to kind of live in a fantasy, at least for one weekend of the year. It would be great to kind of live in a fantasy. So, and these people actually do that. They make it like their personal time when they're able to do that every year, which is great. Kevin Smith was there, and a lot of people were there. Jason Isaacs, William Sadler was there for some reason. I was like, does he have sci-fi cred? William Sadler? Is the Shawshank Redemption a big sci-fi thing?
Yeah, no, he does have some. And that one, what does I want to say? Was he in No Escape with Ray Liotta?
Yeah.
That's sci-fi, dude. That's sci-fi. You'd be amazed what
he was in Iron Man 3, and he was in a couple. He was in the Marvel TV shows too recently.
Yeah, so he gets.
So
I
think that's what it is. But we came up with an idea of having a convention for all the sci-fi movies that have bombed. Like a Battlefield Earth exhibit, and then we'll have like a Mac and Me booth, and people will dress up as those characters.
And a Metal Storm, booth.
Oh yeah, you have to have the Metal Storm, the destruction of Gerald Sin. Yeah, I mean, what's not that has to be Mega Force while you're at it. I mean,
Yes, message from space.
Yes.
I have a convention for completely movies that are completely inappropriate. That would come up with a convention for that.
Solar babies.
There you go. Yeah, let Mel Brooks tell you about that. Yeah.
Sybil. Our Sybil booth is right over here. Would you like to attend the panel on the gray zone?
Oh my God.
Our night porter Q&A begins at.